This video will teach you how to search the Literature Resources from Gale database, which is sometimes listed as Gale Literature Resource Center. Literature Resources from Gale is an excellent database to use when you are looking for sources to support your research essay about a novel, short story, poem, or other literary work. The database offers literary criticisms, topic and work overviews, author biographies, and the full text of some primary sources. To access this database, you need to get to the library homepage. We can get there from the main page by clicking Quick Links and selecting Libraries. Once you're on the homepage, you can click on Databases by Subject here on the right-hand side. This will take you to an alphabetical subject listing where you will want to select literary criticisms. After you click that and scroll down, you'll see a yellow box that says Best Bets. Anything in this box is going to be a great resource to help you find literary criticisms. We're taking a look at literature resources from Gale in depth in this video, but I'll also show you Literary Reference Center and Jstor real quick at the end so you're familiar with what those look like as well. So let's go ahead and click on Literature Resources from Gale. You're going to be asked to log in using your My Pioneer Portal credentials. So go ahead and do that now. Once you have clicked on the database and logged in through My Pioneer Portal, you can start your search. You will be taken to a screen that looks like this. To the right of the search boxes, you will see drop-down menus with pre-filled text to guide your searches to help you find sources quickly. Unlike Google, which lets you use complete sentences, the databases will require that you use specific keywords to search the collection. So you don't want to put in your entire thesis statement. You're going to not get the results that you're looking for. The best bet is to find articles by filling in just one of these three boxes. You do not need to fill out all three, and doing so will increase the opportunity for error, and you may not see everything that's available on your topic. If you are looking for literary criticisms on a particular short story or poem, the best choice to start with is to type the title of that work in the second box to the left of the field that says Name of Work. You'll see that the database also gives you some suggestions and if they look correct, you can go ahead and use those as well. If you're not having any luck getting results, you might want to double check your spelling since databases do not always autocorrect our keyword searches like Google does. Once we have a list of results to work with, we can evaluate it to see if the results are relevant. This list looks pretty good, but if you find that you have a lot of articles which seems like they're talking about a different story or book, you can use these limiters on the right to clean up your results by selecting which specific story you're working with. Or you can also use this search within function. So let's say you're looking at this story from like a psychoanalytic perspective. You could search psychoanalytic in here and it's going to narrow your results even further. But just remember to use keywords and not your entire thesis statement. Remember that you want to focus on literature criticism for this essay, so you don't want to work necessarily with biographies or book reviews, although we will take a look shortly at the topic and work overviews that are unique to this database. When we find a critical essay with a title that appears to connect to your working thesis, you can open that article by clicking on the title. At this point, you can browse the article. It's a good idea if you think there's even a small chance that this source will be helpful to go ahead and email yourself a copy of the article by clicking the Send To button at the top. The email will contain the full text of the article as well as an auto-generated citation for the source. You can use your Rivermail or any other email that you are able to check easily. The citation for the article can also be found under the Cite option. Please be aware that these citations are generated by an algorithm and the computer code rarely provides you with a perfect citation, so you'll still might need to edit this. Sometimes the citations have incorrect capitalizations or are missing information. Always be sure to check it against the examples provided by your instructor or on the IRSC citation LibGuides. You can also have a librarian review your MLA citations. To return to the list of the results, it's best to use the back button that is located within the database. One area that is often helpful for students is the topic and work overviews. These types of articles are helpful if you would like assistance in better understanding the novel or short story you are writing about. But keep in mind that within some of these overviews, especially from short stories for students or novels for students, there is a section that is called criticism. You can use these links to jump to any point in the article. These criticisms can also often be helpful for students needing another source about their topic. If you refer to these mini criticisms in your essay, you would need to refer to the individual author who wrote these essays. The topic and work overviews contain the work of several authors, so make sure that you note which author you are citing from and list those that you use separately on your works cited page and corresponding in-text citation. Remember that librarians can help you with this task. So we just did a search using this name of work field, searching for the specific story that you're writing about. And we had success, but depending on the story you're working with, you might not find as many articles as you were expecting. You can also use this person, by, or about field and type the name of the author. But remember that your results, if you use this option, are going to feature the author's entire works, not just the story that you're working with. So you might want to use those limiters that we talked about earlier. Another issue you might encounter is if you're working with a more contemporary or recent piece of literature, you're going to find there's not as much literary criticism about those works because it just hasn't had time to be created and go through the peer review process yet. So in that case, we typically advise you to think about themes in that work and do a search focused on those themes rather than looking for literary criticism that is specifically related to the story or poem that you're working with. A librarian can help you think through this search process, as it is a little more difficult, but it is worthwhile, and you should not abandon your search if you're not finding results right away. Now that we've taken a detailed look at literature resources from Gale, we'll return to these other best bets and just do a real quick introduction to two other databases in case you find yourself searching for literary criticisms in one of them. So the first one we'll look at is the Literary Reference Center Plus. When you search in Literary Reference Center Plus, we're going to want to use a few limiters to make sure our results are relevant. So before you search, you want to click full text so you know you'll be receiving the full text of the articles. You can also go to document type here and select literary criticism. That way you won't end up with the book reviews and other things that we talked about that wouldn't be relevant for this essay. And then you could also go all the way down and select scholarly journals because you're going to want to be using scholarly peer-reviewed sources in your academic writing. So once we do that, we can go ahead and conduct a search similar to the way we did in Gale Literature Resource Center. Remember, using keywords and phrases, not entire sentences. And we will get a list of results. We can click, similar to Gale, on the title to see the record page. If we want to read the entire article, we're going to click on this PDF full text. If we want to email it to ourselves, we can email here. And if we want a citation, we can get it from this tool. Make sure we're using the MLA citations and double checking them. The last database we're going to take a look at is called Jstor. Jstor is going to bring you back a lot of results, so you want to narrow those results before you even get started. I would select articles from item type so you know you're getting literary criticisms and not book reviews. And using this journal filter option, I would select language and literature to better narrow our results. Once you do that, you can go ahead and search by a keyword or the story's title and get a list of results. Like I said, Jstor is going to have a lot more results than we may have found in the other databases, which is a good thing. But it also means you need to make sure you're double checking that these are literary criticisms and appropriate for the essay that you're working on. We also have a more detailed video about searching in Jstor on IRSC Library's YouTube page that might be helpful for you. If you find an article that you think you might want to use, you can click on it, just like the other databases. In Jstor, it's going to take you automatically to the records page and a PDF of the article that you can read. And then there's a citation option in Jstor as well, right here to the left, and that is called Cite This Item. Remember that IRSC librarians are always happy to assist if you have trouble with any step of the search process. Check out irsclibguides.com/askalibrarian for information on how to contact us about your research needs.